Good morning, everybody. I hope that you all had a good weekend and are all looking forward to the week ahead. So if we have a look at what happened in the markets last week, we saw the Dow Jones fell 0.8%, the Nasdaq fell 0.4%, the FTSE was down just 0.2%, we saw the Nikkei fall 1.1%, China fell 1.2%, and the DAX in Germany was the only one which was in positive territory, which was up 0.4%. So a pretty benign week, really, in the markets, as we've seen for the last few weeks. The last few weeks, we've seen some nice, steady growth. We've seen a little bit of a pullback last week, but nothing too volatile. The bundle of four, by the way, would have made you 0.6%, and that's a gain. So that's a full 1% better than the Nasdaq, which fits in with my philosophy about owning the big boys. So like I say, pretty quiet time in the markets. We have what's going through what's known as a Goldilocks period. Not too hot, not too cold. Reasons for this are the low inflationary environment, the fact that it looks like the interest rates are not going to be risen again this year, and also volumes tend to be down in August and the months, as it's traditionally a holiday in quite a lot of parts of the world. The flip side of that is that September and October historically are always the most volatile times in the market, and then of course on the 8th of November we have the presidential election, which undoubtedly is going to cause an impact of sorts. Which way? I'm not sure yet. So perhaps maybe enjoy the calmer waters whilst you can. On the currency side, again, not huge movements. We saw the pound against the pound against the US dollar remain flat for the week at 131. We saw the dollar improve slightly against the euro from 113 to 112, and again the dollar improved slightly against the Japanese yen, 100 to 101. And against the Australian dollar from 75 cents to 76. So we saw some very small movements in the currency markets, and like the equity markets at the moment, we're seeing things, a pretty steady place. One of the big stories of last week was the Mylan scandal, and Heather Bresch, the CEO there, who earns a whopping 10,000 US dollars an hour, thought it was correct for her company to increase the price of their EpiPens from $57 to about $300, which has caused an absolute stink in the markets, and because of it, her share price fell 25%. That said, the healthcare sector was still one of the best performing last week. That and technology were the only two areas of the S&P which gained ground on the week. Those of you that are regular listeners know that healthcare and technology are two of my favoured sectors, and I still continue to remain bullish in both of those areas, as I do with consumer staples, as I do for the long-term approach. Whatever's going on, we're still going to have millions more Facebook users in the next few months, as we have had in the last few months. We're still going to have plenty more people in the developing world being able to afford to buy more Magnum ice creams, more bottles of Johnny Walker. Own Facebook, own Diageo, own Unilever. You're not going to go too far wrong with those sort of investments. So it's all about the Premier League, really, when it comes to sport. Now that the Olympics are over, well, for me anyway, in my world of sport, and we're seeing Manchester United and Chelsea, two of the three richest clubs, already in prime position in the Premier League, which makes it look highly unlikely that anything that happened last year with the wonderful Leicester story is going to happen again. I'm saying that I don't know about Manchester City yet, because I'm recording this on a Sunday, because I'm off travelling tomorrow, early morning. And it's my team, West Ham, who are playing Man City tonight. So fingers crossed that we can upset the apple cart and we don't have the three richest clubs as numbers 1, 2 and 3 after only 3 games in the Premier League this season. Transfer deadline day this week as well. Always interesting. Some numbers that come out of there, and perhaps we can talk about them next week. So to finish with, I'm going to finish with a money quote, and this time it comes from Richard Branson, who, as many people will know, is a great believer in thinking about the business and thinking about the way you do business, and the money will kind of look after itself. And one of his famous quotes is that what he thinks, and to be successful in business, to make money, is you've got to spot what others are doing badly and do it better. Sounds easy, right? Anyway, that's your tip for the week. Enjoy anything you need. I'm back in Vietnam tomorrow for 3 weeks. Get in touch. Have a good week. Cheers.